Yo, welcome back. So, this is going to be the last episode of just chilling out and explaining things, you know, when it's due time. After this, I'm just going to start building the game, and I'm only going to stop and explain something if it's something very specific, right? Because everything else that I've been doing is with stuff that I've already taught you, right? Or already shown you how to do it. It's just different ways to go about it and different results. But anyways, right? So I'm going to show you two really cool and very useful things. One is this problem that I'm having. So check this out. So I'm going to start the game and I've made these cool mana swords that we pick up and we get this. So to showcase, I didn't show this, like me making this, because we already made this. And it's literally the same. This is health, this is mana. This has the variables current health and max health. This one has the variables current mana and max mana, right? It's exactly the same. It's just different applications. The same thing. I made two things, right? Anyways, moving on. So, I have this issue. You see this mana sword thing? Looks cool, right? I've been working on the particle emitter. I work on the animation, and I was happy with it. I was like, okay, this looks cool, right? So now this one doesn't have the special effects, right? And I want them both to have the special effects. So you're like, okay, just do whatever you did for this one on the top one. Oh my god, my mouse. This one as well. Let me show you. So if you go here on to the game code. So the way I make the special effects on the mana sword, the magical sword, whatever, is with this event, right? At the beginning of the scene, I create the particle emitter, magical sparks or magic sparks, at the position of magic sword power. That's what I call it. Right? Create this, and then we link stuff and we turn the emitter up. Like I already showed you all of this, the Z order, so on. So here's the thing. How do I make this do it for every magical sword, right? Because that's what I'm telling it. At the beginning of the scene, create this stuff at the position of this. But it's not. It's only creating for one of them, correct? Right? If you start the scene, there it is. It's only on the bottom one. The top one gets no love. Why? Right? How do we make that one get love as well? Well, that's why I stopped and I was like, oh, I'm going to record something. Because this is very useful. Right? This is something that once I learned how to use this properly, I was like, oh my god, so this is how you do it. So now I put this on everything. You're going to right click and you're going to add. And then you're going to go for each object. And this new event is going to show up, right? It's just a normal event, but it has this thing at the top, right? And you click on it, and it tells you, okay, you're going to repeat this for what object? And I'm going to put here magic, not maggot, magic sword power. And click. And now it's going to repeat for each instance of magic sword power, right? So now this is a regular event. And you can either grab this stuff and put it in here, or I'm going to do it like this and then make it a sub event because it's also going to work. Because it's going to say like repeat the following, right? And the sub events go after the main event. So this is empty, it runs this, and then it goes this. Right? It's more efficient to put this stuff in here, but this is just for me to show you. So now it's going to repeat for each of them. And ta-da! Now both of them have the sparkly things. Cool, right? So this is how you address multiples of the same. you add for each object. All right. So that was one. So I'm working on this. Like, I've changed the sword a little bit. I'm still not happy with it. It's still not completely done, but it's a work in progress, right? Just made new sprites. There you go. So everything is still the same. But now, I was working on this, so this is not finished. But so my idea is like when you kill an enemy, you lose a mana, and then when you pick these up, doo-doo, like you get the mana thing. I'm still working on this. But anyways, check this out. So I'm gonna give myself some health, and I've made this animation. Alright, cool, right? So when he gets hit, he does the flashing, right? It starts flashing white, and it's like, how do you do stuff like that? Right. Okay, let's close that. So how do you do the flashing thing? Because it wasn't just showing up and disappearing, showing up and disappearing. It was like, it was actually smooth, right? It faded in and faded out, faded in and faded out. Right? And you do that stuff with something called a tween. Now, I would love to put it into short words what the tween is, but luckily I don't have to because they already have a video for it, like inbuilt into GDevelop. So to use a tween, you first need to give whatever object it is you want to tween the behavior. So you're gonna go to the object, you're gonna go behaviors, and then you're gonna add the behavior tween. Okay, there you go. And luckily for us, it already has a video here, so you can just click this and go watch what a tween is. But essentially, it helps you to do smooth animations. And you don't need to do anything. You just add the tween and that's it. Now you can refer to the tween in the events. It's a it's like a smooth animation. If you think about transitions, like the fading in and out, that's what a tween is. So the outline you are watching fading in and out is this. I go on to the effects, and it's not the glow, it's the outline. So I have this effect that I called white outline. And it's 0, 0 to begin with. Right? And that's white. And all it is just an effect 0, 0 white, right? So now on the events, that's not events, that's levels. Let's close this for now. Player, health, that's what I was working on. See, it's literally the same thing. You know, the thing that makes the bars go up and down. It's the same kind of sprites. It's just the only thing that changes is the sprite. Everything else is the same. Do. Where is it? Getting hit. Taking damage. That's probably what it is, right? There you go. If Little Knight is in collision with Fireball. There you go. Then we're going to subtract. We're going to take damage. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that I did with object variables. So, right, to run you through the whole thing. We get hit with a fireball. Then we check, is the object variable, the boolean, hit recovery of Little Knight false? And if you want to copy paste this, it'll be okay. Because object variables, unless you want it to have like a specific value, like we did with the green slime, where we want him to go left at the beginning of the scene, you can just type this in here, and you'll create the variable for you. And you'll go to the standard value, like the initial value is false. So if you add in a number variable on the events, the default value is 0. If you put a boolean, it's false. If you put string, it's like empty, I think. It just doesn't have anything. So when you refer to a variable that I've not created yet, you'll always default to the to the value it has when you create it. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm rambling on. But anyway, we have this object variable. All it's doing is check if you've been hit or not. And we haven't. It's false. Then we get hit, and we change the object variable hit recovery to true. So now we're hit. We can no longer be hit again, right? He went from false to true. So no longer can he get hit. Now, if the variable is true, if we've been hit, then it's going to do all this stuff. It's going to play the sound that do, right? Him complaining that he's been hit. And then we're going to tween the property thickness of the effect white outline of Little Knight. And we're going to set it, the value to 4. But we're not going to do it all at once. We're not going to tell it like, oh yeah, change it from 0 to 4. No, it's going to go from 0 to 4 over 0.2 seconds. And that's the beauty of the tween. It's like it doesn't do things instantly. It does it over a period of time that you tell it to. But I'm going to give you a better example than this. But anyway, this is so you can see what's actually happening. So I change it to 4. Then I wait 2.25 seconds and we change it to 0. And then we wait 2.5 seconds and then we change it to 4 again. And then we wait a little more and we change it to 0. And then at the very end, we wait a bit more and we finally change the hit recovery variable back to false. So now you can get hit again. So if you sum all of this up, it's 1 second. So you get hit, changes to true. Then you goes through all of this over 1 second and then change to false. So your hit recovery, the amount of time you take between hits is 1 second. And if you want to make it bigger, you just add to the very end. You're like, oh my God, this is so complicated. My head hurts. It's like, it's fine. Let me show you everything from the very start. This was just an example of something I was doing. Let's do something cool that every game needs to not look scuffed, which is a good transition. And those are kind of easy to make. So I'm going to save. Let's go. Oh, let's go here. Oh, we don't actually need to come here, but anyways. We're going to create an object. What am I? Do I have the thingy showing? No, I don't. Add an object. Add a new object. It's going to be sprite. And we're going to call this backdrop. Backdrop. Black screen. Black screen. It's more fitting. It'll be easier for us to remember in the long run. So black screen. We do nothing with properties or anything like that. And it's like, what about the animation? Do you want to load it? No, we're going to create one with Piscal. 16 by 16? No. This one we're going to make real big. Like real big. So we're going to go to... Oh my God, I can't... My eyes are so bad today. Wait, was already on this? Why? Okay, whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna make this bigger than our resolution. So our resolution right now is 1280 by 720. We're gonna go nuts with this. So let's make it like 2000. 2000 by 2000. And we're gonna, it's already color black. Grab the paint bucket and we make it black. So it's just a big black square, like real big. real big. And click save. Animation. Just call it black screen. Black screen. And now we're going to change the point. Edit point. And let's make the origin right in the middle. So remember, we made it 2000 by 2000, so the middle is 1000 by 1000. So 1 by 1. So 1000 by 1000. Press close. And what else? We're going to go to behaviors. Add a behavior. And we're going to add a tween. Tween. Select the tween. And that's it. We're done here. So click apply. And we're all done. So, well, one more thing. We need to make this a global. So I'm going to put it there. And you want to make this a global? Yes, I do. So now check this out. Let's go to our programs, our code, events, whatever it is you want to call. At the beginning of the scene, I'll fix this later. I'm going to copy paste this just because I'm being lazy. Just because I'm being lazy. There you go. So at the beginning of the scene, let's create object, create an object. Which object? The black screen. Black screen. What's the position? 1000 by 1000. So it's going to be in the middle of the screen. Oh no, I'm being an idiot. So it needs to be half of our resolution. So 1280 by 720. So 1280. 1280, 640? 640. My math is real bad, so feel free to laugh at me. So 640, 720. That's 350. 720. 720? That's 360, right? Yeah, 360, because 36 plus the 57, and then the 10 plus 20. Okay, 360. I've done this math so many times, I should know these measures by heart, and I always forget. And we're actually going to create it on the game UI, so it's over everything. So on the layer, game UI. And apply. Next up, we're going to change the Z order. So Z order. Object, black screen. And we're going to set it to 50, for example. This is just to make sure that the black screen goes over everything, no matter what. We can forget about this. Maybe like we put something else that goes after it or whatever, but this way it's always on top, right? We made it to 50. Now, so we create the screen and we start the level and create the screen, right? So now there is no game. Uh-oh. What happened? Why can we not see black screen? Where did I mess up? Game UI, at the position, black screen. at the beginning of the scene. What is wrong? Why is this not being created? At the position 640 by 360, which should be the middle of the screen. Game UI. What the heck? Am I tripping? Why is our screen... where's our black screen? What the heck? Okay. Am I missing something? Am I missing something completely obvious? Black screen. We have the tween animation. This is flat. I did make the size real big, right? No. What the heck? Did I not change this to 1,000 over 1,000? What? Like, wait, didn't I make this like 2,000? What the heck? I'm fairly certain I did this. Right at the start, right? Didn't I remember typing the 2,000. Oh, whatever. Press enter. Save. Whatever, game. Whatever. I did edit the points, right? Yeah, 1,000 over 1,000. No wonder you couldn't see because it was like way off. Okay, now we do that. And there we go. That is no game. If I press buttons, we can still hear it because the game is there. I don't know. I could swear I did the whole 2,000 thing and then press enter. Whatever. I was clearly wrong. Right. So how do we make this workable? Like, how do we work with this? Well, we use a tween. We're gonna add an action, and it's gonna be a tween. And now there's gonna be all sorts of tweens, and you're like, oh my god, what do I do with all this? It's quite simple. You read the tooltips. I know. It's like you just read it. What do these do? Resume a tween. Okay, that one resumes it. Pause a tween. That one pauses it. Stop a tween. Oh my god, that one stops it. Remove a tween. Wonder what that one does. Tween object angle. No, we don't want the angle. Height. Nope. Position. Nope. Width. Nope. Pause the scene. Yada yada yada. Object opacity. There we go. The one I did for the we can do colors. We can do effect property. This is the one I did for the outline. I used one of these. But this one we're gonna do the opacity. So you just type in opacity to narrow it down. And opacity is what makes them see-through. So object, black screen. Then it has the tween behavior, tells you here. Otherwise, this would be red. Tween identifier. Let's call it scene fade. Scene fade. This has no bearing. Let's call it fade. Nah, scene fade is okay. This has no bearing. The name. This is just for your sake and to keep your ducks in a row. To opacity. So it started out with maximum opacity, right? You can't see through it. It's solid. So it was 255. So we want to make it 0. So completely see-through. Easing. It already has linear. All of this stuff does something. All of this there's a different kind of smooth animation. Like some are like real quick at the start and then they slow down. Some are like really smooth at the start and then they speed up. You have all sorts of stuff like that. But the one we use the most and the one I recommend you using is linear, which means it's the same thing, the same speed of animation all the way through. Right? It's linear. It's literally its name, linear. The duration is how long do you want it to go from complete black, right? Because it's solid, to completely see through, or to go from 255 to 0. Let's do over half a second. So, no, let's do a full second just to showcase it. So, 1 second. And then destroy this object when it finished. Yep. We don't need it anymore, right? We used the thing to, sorry, to make it disappear, and we can just get rid of it at the end. So press OK. Sorry, pardon me. And now, when we start the game, check this out. Ta-da! See, it faded in. It was no longer like you just clicked and it was, whoa, it just showed up, right? And since it's at the start of the scene, ow. When we change scenes, it's going to do the same thing. See? It faded in. How cool is that? And that's basically a tween. But that was too long, right? It's a whole second is just too smooth. It's just too much transition. No, we want to like press play and it does like a smooth transition thing, but we want to start playing straight away. So let's try half of that, 0.5 seconds. Let's see how smooth that is. See, that was good. It's not. It wasn't too short. It wasn't too long. It was like it started and shoo, here's the game. We can even do it faster. Let's do half of that. 0.25. How is 25 bigger than 5? It's because it's a decimal, right? It goes 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 3. Then 31, 32, 33, 34 until 39, and then 4, right? That's why. And preview and see, that was good, right? That was just a quick fade. It didn't overstay. It didn't do anything. Okay, we're gonna leave and ooh. Maybe it was even too fast. You know what? 0.5. 0.5 was good. 0.5. I think 0.5 was good. It was a good medium. Yeah, there we go. It's nice and smooth. Because on this one, you could barely see it. Yeah, there we go. This is nice and smooth. And that was a tween. Right? And you can do tweens for everything, man. It's so useful. You can apply this to moving. You can like make stuff move from side to side using a tween. So instead of you saying like, oh yeah, change this thing to this position and have like the item teleport, right? Disappears from one center and goes to a different one. You use a tween and you can actually see the object moving from one place to the other. It's very useful for a lot of things. I use it a lot in my other project. Menus, all that stuff is used with tweens. So get used to it. Just mess around with it. Make an empty project and just play with tweens and to see what all this stuff does. And I think that was it. That was the last part. And I just stopped to explain a little bit about tweens and what was the other thing? What was it? It was tweens and Oh yeah, the repeat for each object. I use this a lot for making AI. Because if you ever make something like AI for your enemies, and then they all start moving at the same time, like you give it a random number uh, for them to move, but once they start moving, they're all like moving in synchrony, right? They all it's like they all have the same brain. It's because you didn't do a repeat for each object. Once you add for each object, GDevelop will um, apply. Well, it's gonna apply this to each object, right? But it's gonna give it individuality. That's what I was trying to say. It's what gives individuality to each object that you just copy pasted, right? Because if you don't tell it to repeat and to single out each one individually, then it's just going to treat them all as one, right? And a lot of the times you don't want that. You want to treat them all as different, even though you just made clones of one. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry. I know it's a bit all over the place. But yeah, this stuff is very useful. It can also derail your project if you're not careful with this, because it's gonna repeat events, and too many events of the same uh, can go haywire if you're not like if you make it like, oh, spawn something, right? And then you put like repeat for each tile on the screen or something like that, and you have like 100 tiles. Now you're gonna spawn 100 things, and that's not good. Sometimes it can have some really weird effects. But as always, just play with it. Just mess around with it, test it, have fun. Don't just go like, oh, I shouldn't add this because I don't know what it does. No, add it in. Have fun. Don't like it? Delete it. It messed something on your project? Just load the last save. No? Have fun with it. This is a game engine. Have fun making your games and have fun doing it, and your games will be super awesome. Anyways, I'm gonna keep working on this because I'm having a lot of fun. I've made some changes, as you can tell. Made some new sprites for the swords. I'm still not happy with it, but I'm gonna make it so that when you hit an enemy, you actually lose mana. That way, it's a lot more engaging than to just do this all the time. To just like have infinite attacks. This is boring. Right? This changes the game into a beat 'em up, and I want it to be like something fun where you're like, okay, you use the mana to kill that guy, and then you got the coin, right? So that's the trade-off. Do, do, do. Alright, we don't spend mana yet. I was working on that, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make one more video about this kind of stuff. Yeah, but this one's cool, right? Yeah, the animation. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. There you go. It only works when I have health. I made a get hit animation. It's something so simple, that white outline, but it looks so nice. It's non-intrusive. You could see it like, oh, you got hit. Yeah. All right, that was it. I don't want to drag on anymore. That was Tweens and the other thing that I forget. What was it again? Oh my god, it was the Tween and the repeat. The repeat for each object. Yeah. The last two things. Now I'm going to really work on this project because I want to see it done. And I'm going to work with the whole explanation thing backwards. I'm going to make the game now because I think I've already shown you all the moving parts, all the essential parts. So I'm going to finish the game, and then I'm going to show you finished game. And then if you're still curious, if you're like, oh, how did you do this part? Then I'll take it apart and I'll show you, and I'll redo it in a different project or something like that, and I'll show you how to do stuff. But right now, I'm going to finish this so I can move on to the next one. Uh, I'll still show you what I'm doing with devlogs. I'm just not gonna explain it every little detail. But I will show you like, oh, dude, I did this and I did that, and this is cool, right? I love geeking out of it, about this kind of stuff. So let's save, and I'll catch you guys next video, which will be devlog number 1 for this game. All right, catch you guys next time. Peace out.